We all hear about the Cholas going eastwards and influencing them. We see the Angkor Wat temple. My question is, was there any military campaign? I mean, did the Cholas do military campaigns in Eastern Asia? Absolutely. The Cholas, uh, exactly 996 years ago, the Cholas, in the year 1025, the Cholas launched a maritime expedition, a naval expedition into the Srivijaya kingdom of Indonesia. And this was a naval invasion, and they conquered this kingdom. And this brought to an end the dynasty of that era, which was the Shailendra dynasty of Indonesia. And so there were clearly military expansions and invasions, and not just the Chola, the Cheras, the Pandyas, etc. These various southern Indian kingdoms also expanded to various degrees militarily into Eastern Asia, into Thailand, Burma, Malaysia, Indonesia, all the way into Laos, Vietnam, and all the way into the Philippines. The Philippines themselves were Hinduized and Sanskritized before the Christian invasions happened, and Christianity was imposed upon them. So so even the Philippines was a Hindu culture. So this happened because of military invasions. Now the thing is this: despite Indian kingdoms invading Eastern Asia and Southeastern Asia militarily, still the people of Southeast Asia readily accepted and absorbed Indian culture like Sanskrit and Hinduism. And the reason is very simple: the Indian conquests were never exploitative or extractive in nature. The Indians conquered, but they did not colonize. Colonization is the slow, gradual destruction of the conquered country by the extraction of wealth and the destruction of the local culture. India never did that. The Indians who conquered these countries or these kingdoms, they would usually install a king there who would marry into the locals, and over several generations, they would become localized. And you would hardly see any Indian influence genetically. They would look like the locals, but the culture would be Indian. And slowly, all the locals absorbed Indian culture, Hinduism, and later it transformed into what we now call Buddhism. So this you see throughout Eastern Asia and Southeastern Asia. You had so many Hindu kingdoms. In Vietnam, you had the great Champa kingdom, which later became a thalassocratic empire, which conquered the so-called South China Sea, which was called the Champa Sea for most of history. So there was a great deal of military conquest eastwards. There were so many, I mean, hundreds, you could say, of Hinduized kingdoms and dynasties over almost 1500 years, right? So Indonesia's greatest era, the golden era of Indonesia, is the Majapahit Empire, which was a Hindu empire. And there is even today remembered by the people of Indonesia as the golden era of the nation. So there were so and this Angkor Wat temple was in Cambodia. It was initially a temple dedicated to Vishnu or to Shiva in some forms, and later on it was repurposed for worshipping Gautam Buddha, who again is regarded as an incarnation of Vishnu. So the outward nature changed, but inside it remained the same. So yes, again, to answer your question, there were many military campaigns by Indians in Eastern and Southeast Asia.